We're doing function composition. So remember, this is not multiplication. We are not multiplying these two functions. What we're doing is putting one function inside of another function. So let's take a look at this from the outside in. So we have our function g. So g of x says take x and add 4 to it. So take my input. So that's what this says. This is my input. Take my input and add 4 to it. Okay, whatever my input is, I add 4. Well, now my input happens to be h of x. Okay, so take my input, which is h of x, and add 4 to it. Another way to write that, now that we have h of x, we know that h of x is equal to x cubed minus 1. So that's the same thing as saying, okay, I'm just going to replace h of x with its definition, x cubed minus 1, and I'm going to add 4 to that. Add 4, and when I simplify, I get x cubed plus 3. Okay, and that is the composition of g of h of x. So now let's look at another example with an actual number in it. So we are looking at function composition again, except this time we have a value. So this little symbol means I'm composing these two functions, g composed with h of negative 1. So this is the same thing as writing g of h of negative 1. So as before, this is saying, okay, take whatever function g is, okay, and that says take my input, cube it, and add 3 to it. So I could rewrite this as take my input, which is h of negative 1, cube that, and add 3 to it. Okay. Well, I can figure out what h of negative 1 is. I have to do that before I can cube it. So h of negative 1 is equal to 3 times negative 1 plus 5, which is equal to 2. So h of negative 1 is equal to 2. So now I have 2, cube that, and add 3 to it, and that is equal to 11.